I've got two lists from College Football 25 that are controversial. EA Sports just released the top 25 offenses and defenses in College Football 25, and woo boy, this is about to get spicy. I think it's important to note how these power rankings are kind of put together. It's not just EA sitting in the room and, just trying to figure things out. This list was done in combination with Pro Football Focus. They also looked at all 134 rosters, so we're talking thousands of players, years worth of game film, mountains of statistical data, and then that ultimately is what they use to get to these rankings. I am inching closer to 300,000 subscribers every single day thanks to you guys here on YouTube, so if you're enjoying this content, leave a like and subscribe. All right, let's talk about the top offenses in College Football 25 first. Just keep in mind, these are initial ratings. These are kind of projections of what they assume people are going to be. And then as the season goes on, they are having roster updates. So teams could go up, they could go down, they could fall completely off. And if you're one of those people that are like, my team's not on here, good game, bro, they could still be on here, right? Like as the season goes on, if they have guys that are booming, then they could go up the ranking as well. At 25, we have USC with an 83 overall. 24 is going to give us Virginia Tech at an 83, along with Oklahoma at an 83 overall. At number 22, we have the team that thought they should have been in contention for the college football playoff, but ultimately weren't, at Florida State with an 83 overall. Number 21 is going to stay in the state of Florida here, with UCF coming in at 85 overall, along with SMU at number 20 with an 85 overall. At 19, we have the squad that probably has the most underrated uniforms in all of college football. Memphis will be an 85 overall. At number 18, we have Texas A&M at an 85 overall as well, but the difference for them is that they have the toughest place to play in all of College Football 25, at least at the start of the game. Number 17 is going to be Notre Dame at an 85 overall. NC State, who had a really good year last year, is number 16 now at an 87 overall. Arizona has some of the most underrated players in all of college football, but at least the people at EA Sports seem to know how good they are. You'll find them at number 15 with an 87 overall as well. At number 14, Kansas, and maybe a dark horse in the Heisman, Jalen Daniels, are sitting at an 87. Number 13, Ole Miss, is an 87 overall. Number 12, Penn State, again, one of the toughest places to play in all of College Football 25. They will be an 87 overall. And then number 11, Utah, is also sitting at an 87 overall. As we kind of go through this offensive defensive ranking, I know a lot of you guys have your fingers going crazy in the comments right now, but do me a favor, make sure you check out Underdog Fantasy and use code GGB. If you love sports like me, especially college football, it is the place to be, and their pick'em game is absolutely my favorite. It's unbelievably simple. You simply pick higher or lower on different projections for some of your favorite athletes. Maybe athletes that you hate. Maybe you just want to see a dude do bad and you're like, I know he's going to do worse. I'm picking lower. If those picks are correct, you can win some big cash. The best news though, as long as you use code GGB when you sign up, they are always running a free play special. These are really cool, and UFC 303 is this weekend, so Alex Pereira is up there with a 0.5 strikes higher for the rating overall. So as long as he lands one strike, you're good to go on that one. And if you use my code when you sign up, they will give you up to $250 in bonus cash. You can't beat that out. Check the link in the description. Now we're jumping into the top 10 to see the highest rated teams on offense in College Football 25, and let the controversy begin. At number 10, we will have Clemson at an 87 overall. Number 9, Missouri at an 89 overall. I think a lot of people might be sleeping on Missouri. Luther Burden is absolutely insane. They've got a really talented offense sort of across the board, so I'm not surprised to see them kind of sitting here in the top 10. The team that everybody seems to love to hate is going to be Colorado at number 8. They are also tied with Missouri at an 89 overall. I know this is where the comments are probably going to get super spicy, but I mean, Shedeur Sanders, they've got Travis Hunter, they've got Horn, they've got a lot of dudes on that team that are really talented and really good. So while their offensive line was definitely a deficiency for them, I see them still being good. Moving on to number 7, we have Miami at an 89 overall. Number 6 will be LSU at an 89 overall. And number 5 is the Ohio State, also at an 89 overall. At number 4, we have Texas at a 91 overall. I'm not really surprised by this one. Quinn Ewers obviously has done well. They are loaded across the board on offense. It just really feels like this is Texas's time to try to shine. This is the last year for Quinn. Can he really get that team over the hurdle? At number 3, despite all the transfers that kind of happened for them on offense and defense, Alabama sits strong at a 91 overall. And now for your top 2 teams, you have Oregon at number 2 with a 94 overall, and tied for the best one, but they end up getting a slight edge here. Number 1 is going to be Georgia at a 94 overall. Carson Beck, a loaded team there as well. Georgia really has become like the premier program over the last couple of years. They deserve to be number 1 on offense. And I know I kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier, but I know people are going to be screaming about Colorado's ranking. But again, a team that has lots of big-time players. Shedeur and Travis and a few others are obviously carrying them a little bit. Omarion Miller is going to be coming along. they deserve to be at least in the top 10 consideration, in my opinion. But what do you think? And before we talk about defense, I do want to say that personally, I'm extremely glad to see that no team is rated higher than a 94 overall. If you happen to play NCAA football 14, you know that there were teams rated a lot higher than that. I mean, I think Alabama and some of the premier programs at the time were sort of 97s, 98s, even some 99s on offense and defense. So by the time you got into dynasty mode, every team was kind of juiced. I just personally love to see a little bit of room to breathe for some of the ratings. I feel like it gives us a better playing game and allows us to really bring recruits along, bring teams along. It just makes it more of a challenge. And now with the offense out of the way, let's chat about defense. At number 25 for defense, we have Florida at an 84 overall. 24 will be Kansas State at an 84 overall. 23 will be North Carolina, also at an 84 overall. And 22 will be Louisville at an 84 overall. The trend kind of continues a little bit here. Number 21, Oklahoma State will be an 84 overall. Colorado also is going to be an 84 overall. And we pump the brakes for a second. This is where I think people are going to get kind of debating in the comments. We know the deficiencies for Colorado on offense last year were mostly the offensive line and some depth in a couple of areas, but defense, they were getting torched a lot of the time. Even one of their first wins against TCU was like a wildly high-scoring game because the defense really couldn't get a stop. And shout out to Travis Hunter and a few of those guys for making big-time plays, but there's only so much those guys can do. Now, players that transferred out to Colorado, we've got a lot of players that have transferred into Colorado. There's just sort of a lot of speculation. But again, remember, these ratings are projections on what they think the teams are going to be playing as, not exactly a like hard science of, oh, they're going to be exactly this. You got to give them some time. And if they're not good in the season, they will drop. But if they are good or maintaining what they have, they'll kind of sit where they are. Continuing on, though, we have number 19, Texas A&M at an 84 overall. 18 is LSU, also at an 84 overall. Number 17 is Auburn at an 86. We see number 16, USC, also as an 86, a team that also struggled on defense a lot last year. We'll see if they retool this year. Number 15 is Wisconsin at an 86 overall, and 14 is Virginia Tech at an 86 overall as well. As we chat through the ratings on offense and defense, I also want you to start thinking about when you're playing your dynasty mode or matching against these teams online and you're playing at their stadium, just how important it's going to be when you see those ratings combined with that, top 25 toughest places to play, that stadium pulse is going. It's going to make things a lot more difficult. At number 13, we're going to have Iowa at an 88 overall. That is a team that is absolutely not going to be ranked anywhere close to the offensive rankings, but defense for sure. They did their job. Number 12 is Oklahoma, also at an 88 overall. And then number 11 is Florida State at an 88 overall as well. But before we jump into the top 10, what are your thoughts on 11 through 25 so far? We already talked about, in my opinion, the elephant in the room, which is Colorado's defense, but I think they improved a lot from last year. But what team is kind of overrated or underrated or even should be in consideration for this top 25? Without any further ado, let's see the top 10 teams on defense in college football 25. At number 10, we have Utah at an 88 overall. They are going to be a problem. I think when you're 5-10 years into your dynasty, Utah is going to be one of those top 10 teams across the board still. Number 9 brings us Penn State at an 88 overall. Number 8 is Texas at an 88 overall. Your number 7 team is going to be Michigan at a 90 overall, which again, their offense was not on the top list, but their defense is right there. At number 6, we're going to have Notre Dame at a 90 overall. Number 5 is Clemson at a 90 overall. Number 4 is going to be Alabama at a 90 overall. And number 3 will be Oregon at a 90 overall. So the good news for Oregon fans is that you have the number 3 rated defense and the number 2 rated offense. So your squad is going to be looking pretty. And then your top 2 teams, number 2 will be Georgia at a 94 overall. And I feel like maybe some fans won't be happy about this one, but number 1 is the Ohio State at a 96 overall. And I think it's interesting. While Ohio State's offense sits below a 90, their defense is by far the highest rated in the game. They've got guys like Denzel Burke, Caleb Downs, Jack Sawyer, and they've got a whole bunch of other guys that are going to be a problem all season long. But they've got a new quarterback situation going on, and it's just kind of a situation of, can Ryan Day help their new quarterback along with that stacked position players on offense and but with the defense that good, their real question mark is their quarterback position. Can Ryan Day and company figure out how to make that quarterback situation what it needs to be? They have a good transfer coming in, but you've got really good receivers like Emeka Egbuka. You've got Judkins, a fantastic potential Heisman guy you could have at running back. There is so much talent there. This is a year that Ohio State really has to come through. With all that being said, though, what ratings do you think EA got right? Which ones did they get wrong? And which ones should they absolutely be looking at again? Is there a team that maybe isn't here that should be here? And maybe you voice your concern in the comments down below. And for the Michigan fans out there, yes, your defense is represented. You lost a lot on offense in your starting QB, starting wide receiver, Roman Wilson, starting running back as well, and Blake Corum. Should your offense have also been here? Do you have enough recruits to replenish? I want to know. Ratings are always a fun thing to talk about, but at the end of the day, they are subjective, and we'll see how it plays out on real Saturdays here pretty soon. Be safe, be smart, tell somebody you love them. Catch you guys on the next one.